Also, this again, these highlights, and they're highlights in both the sense that they're highlights in the dress and they're highlights in the painting itself. Run along one of these kind of lines of power, like lines of focus. So that's a fairly this is a very Monet kind of liked to make very kind of I'm not going to say stereotypical compositions, but very easily accessible compositions. Like it's quite easy to see how these focal points are summarized by these lines. By the way, if people disagree, like be sure to like tell me because I might be able to explain, say why this color, right, is also kind of a focal point, right? But we didn't go over it, right? And it doesn't seem to follow on one of these lines, right? So if someone has a question like that, like please ask. Like we will not be interrupted.
Why did you decide to draw the red axis exactly where it is as opposed to flipped? And what would happen to the entire discussion of this if you flipped where the vertical red line was?
If I flipped where the vertical red line was, I would get something rather strange, right? I would actually, this is the reason why this is sort of a focal point that I'm not discussing, because the red line would go here, right? And here, along this line between the people, right? And then you would get this going across her waist, right? Roughly. And let me think, this is really hard for me to find out. Oh, and here, right? And so you would hit a lot of the same focal points. You certainly get this one. You would get this instead of the voice space, right? But this is the line that seemed to fit the painting best.
Okay.
Like this is this is sort of, as I said, not very scientific. Like this is no proof that my method is right. I am simply using a method retroactively that I am assuming to be true.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could easily say, well, this doesn't seem right because there are plenty of ways you could diagram this. They would not yield this result. But in this case, right, we're trying to build from the bottom up. And so what I'm saying is that I'm guessing that Monet started with that and built his painting.
Okay.
Do you see?
Yeah.
I'm going to get to the next one in a second. You'll see what I'm talking about. There are definitely exceptions to this. So, do you notice how this painting seems very... it's a little off, right? Not only does it not look realistic, but it sort of you sort of lean from it. You know, if you understand what I mean, right? This is by Starry Night.
There you go.
I was going to say Matisse. I'm like, no, it's not Matisse. Matisse is someone completely different, as is Magritte was the next. First I was thinking of. Stuck on Monet, right? Yes. This is Van Gogh's Starry Night, right?
Sorry.
That's all right. But Neil, where would you say a focal point is here?
I'm drawn both to the moon and to the you know what to call it coming up out of the rock.
The spire. Yeah. So the moon and the spire, right? Mm-hmm. I look at this star some, right? This. Any others? People?
I don't know what you call it, the sort of largest star swirl middle, yeah.
This.
The vortex.
Yeah. This, and then of course, I'm not going to get into repetition of form much, but you can see there's definitely a flow to this painting where you kind of come in and you look at this, right? You go across, maybe you go to the moon briefly, but you kind of go here, and then back to the other swirl. And what that is repetition of form. And so when you see something in a painting like a star, your body automatically looks for all the other stars. So like I bet in the previous painting, if you look at one of the faces first, your next stop was the other face. This happens a lot in paintings. I'm not going to go much into it, as I said, but it's an interesting thing. But yes, this swirl. I actually call this the Nautilus shell in the painting for a particular reason. But if we look, he has a very strange composition, right? So here I drew 2/3, 1/3, right? And took this smaller rectangle, right? And here is his horizon line. Usually painters try to draw the horizon line more up here. But in this case, he's not actually using... Hey guys. That's all right. In this case, he's not actually using the strange. Like if you look at a lot of artists and their paintings, like they tweak a little bit, but Van Gogh tweaked it a lot. Like if you look at his faces as well, his portraits all seem like they're a little shifted over, and he does a very strange thing. But you can see he focuses on the nautilus shell. And again, if I were to diagram the nautilus shell, right, he definitely makes use of the golden rectangle, like again and again, right? So I mean, if you were to go out and like paint a painting, right, like what you could take away from this is essentially that these rules are loose, right? I mean, you don't have to diagram it quite like Monet did so exactly, but that if you use, right, it's sort of intangible the way that this, or kind of uncanny the way that this swirl, like it's a powerful object somehow, right? And so my hypothesis, of course, is that the use of the golden rectangle, right, the fact that it's at a focal point, the fact that it fits the golden rectangle in a number of iterations, simply basically by being circular, is what does it. And again, this star isn't quite on the golden rectangle, but it's actually pretty close. And if you were to draw in this rectangle a 1/3 mark, right, it would come very close to that star. In fact, I bet actually if you took kind of the limit of golden rectangles going in, you'd find that this is actually the center of a nautilus shell. At the center of this piece, right? Because all you got to do is move up and up and up. And so the golden rectangle does not actually limit where you can put things on in pieces, right? Because you can always just go through iterations and iterations. All it means is you've got to have something going on in the meantime. This piece is very, very busy, and so maybe this star isn't at the focal point. And if this were a blank piece of paper with a dot here, it would look kind of dumb. It would in fact look dumber than a blank piece of paper with a dot here. Anyway, okay, so this is one of my favorite point paintings of all time, from Maxfield Parrish. And Maxfield Parrish was very good at painting stuff that people liked. He did this. It looks like it's supposed to be like a classical painting, like Doge's leather straps, pillars, Greek pillars, right? Kind of an idyllic, misted landscape in the background. But really, this was painted in the 1930s. And I can't remember the exact statistic, but I believe something like 1 in 4 households in the United States at one point have owned this painting because it was that popular. Like Maxfield Parrish, he was good at getting his stuff distributed. And a lot of people said, like, so why is this painting pretty? Like, obviously, it's very detailed. Like the lighting is kind of like very nice, right? But there are lots of paintings out there that have like nice lighting and detailed stuff, right? You can draw like a picture. Let's say you draw a picture of a flower on like a piece of cardboard, right? And it was just photographic detail, or even took a photograph, right? Like what makes a painting that is realistic, or at least kind of this one is sort of hyperdimensional and has a very strong depth to it. What makes a painting like that say better than a photograph, or better than something that's real, right? And the answer is that when artists do things, they hide forms in the painting that people like. So you might have noticed something